Good morning, good day, good evening, whenever you're finding this video. Thanks for joining me. We are on lesson 199 of A Course in Miracles workbook. Let's go ahead and dive right in. I am not a body. I am free. Freedom must be impossible as long as you perceive a body as yourself. The body is a limit. Who would seek for freedom in a body looks for it where it cannot be found. The mind can be made free when it no longer sees itself as in a body, firmly tied to it and sheltered by its presence. If this were the truth, the mind were vulnerable indeed. So yesterday's lesson, I had a huge clearing. My mind was remembering old abandonment wounds that had been coming up to the surface over the last week or so. And yesterday's lesson, and with those abandonment wounds, I was projecting on to another body because I was getting triggered like crazy. And that particular body wasn't doing anything, hadn't done anything, did not misbehave, and yet I was getting triggered like a you-know-whatter. And condemnation only injures myself when I condemn another. It's like self-harm. And in this lesson, when each and every time we can catch ourselves in the trigger, in the middle of the trigger, and recognize that the trigger is of the body, you can immediately kind of snap out of that spell and access Holy Spirit, because the body doesn't exist when you go to the peace of God, when you realize and become aware of the peace of God. And the body vanishes. And when the body vanishes, all the seeming problems and the triggers and the wounds vanish along with it. They just go up in smoke, like a cloud, like a mist. Okay. The mind that serves the Holy Spirit is unlimited forever, in all ways beyond the laws of time and space, unbound by any preconceptions, and with strength and power to do whatever it is asked. Attack thoughts cannot enter such a mind, because it has been given to the source of love, and fear can never enter in a mind that has attached itself to love. It rests in God. And who can be afraid who lives in innocence and only loves? You don't have to be afraid anymore if you continue to turn your, not hypothetical, your back, your metaphorical back to the illusion, to the body images, to the fictional characters that are ramping up more illusions and triggering the crap out of you. Turn your back on all of that and just go to the Holy Spirit every time. In the middle of that trigger, some people say, no, you need to process it, and maybe you do, but it truly is as simple as turning your back. In your mind's eye, visualize you physically turning your back on the nothingness of the triggers, of the wounds, and go to Holy Spirit and say, oh my God, nothing happened. Nothing happened. It feels very real when it's happening, but as soon as you can make that separation and go to God, you'll realize nothing happened, and then you're free. You have freedom. Okay. It is essential for your progress in this course that you accept today's idea and hold it very dear, like really close to your chest, in your heart space. Be not concerned that to the ego it is quite insane. The ego holds the body dear because it dwells in it and lives united with the home that it has made. It is part of the illusion that has sheltered it from being found illusory itself. Here does it hide, and here it can be seen as what it is. Declare your innocence and you are free. The body disappears because you have no need of it except the need the Holy Spirit sees. For this, the body will appear as useful form for what the mind must do. It thus becomes a vehicle which helps forgiveness be extended to the all-inclusive goal that it must reach according to God's plan. Cherish today's idea and practice it today and every day. Make it a part of every practice period you take. There is no thought that will not gain, thereby in power to help the world, and none which will not gain in added gifts to you as well. I mean, each and every time you turn your back on the body thoughts, the illusions, the ego, all those triggers, every time you say, nope, I am not falling for it and I'm turning my back, you are not just healing yourself more and really just putting the pieces back together. You are absolutely making a huge contribution to the world. You are healing the world. You are that pebble in a still ocean, an eternal ocean, and we throw that pebble in and there's a ripple effect. You are that pebble every time being thrown into the ocean. Every single time you go back to God. Every single time. I mean, even in the ego thought system, that sounds pretty cool, right? We do have a spiritual ego saying, yeah, all right, I want to be part of this like whole salvation business. I want to like save the world. Well, guess what? You're doing it every time you turn your back to that ego, to the triggers. Now, again, I'm not saying spiritual bypass. I'm not saying do not process emotions, but you will process the emotion when you see what is truly happening and you can discern fact from fiction. I should say truth from fiction. When you make that discernment, when you make that distinction, it is like, bam, you're coming out of the cult. You're coming out of this a spell that you were under, and you see the light, you see the truth, you feel the truth. You don't just see it in here, you are experiencing the truth. We sound the call of freedom round the world with this idea. And would you be exempt from the acceptance of the gifts you give? The Holy Spirit is the home of minds that seek for freedom. In Him they have found what they have sought. The body's purpose now is unambiguous, and it becomes perfect in the ability to serve an undivided goal. In conflict-free and unequivocal response to mind with but the thought of freedom as its goal, the body serves and serves its purpose well. Without the power to enslave, it is a worthy servant of the freedom which the mind within the Holy Spirit seeks. Be free today and carry freedom as your gift to those who still believe they are enslaved within a body. Be you free so that the Holy Spirit can make use of your escape from bondage to set free the many who perceive themselves as bound and helpless and afraid. And you know, again, when you turn your back on the bullshit, you know, we feel people's pain. You know, on this journey, we're all empaths, and we are, when we acknowledge the energetic beings that we are, we become almost more sensitive to dark, to light, to all of it. And, we see so much real pain. I mean, we know the truth of that, but we can't speak for them if their mind is still tangled up, if the undoing hasn't taken place. But man, every time you or I do this work, make that distinction, turn our back on that freaking Tasmanian devil sitting in the bushes just ready to pounce at every moment of, I don't want to say weakness, but worry, concern, sadness, fear, depression, anxiety, insecurity, any of that. It's just ready to pounce. But think about it, when you can immediately just put your hand up and say, no, you are helping those that you can see with your physical senses, physical eyes, and feel with your physical senses, that especially the children that are suffering out there. I just was remembering, I've seen the movie Sound of Freedom, and these words actually kind of triggered. They used the words, the sound of freedom. And we sound the call of freedom around the world. And I thought about the kids that have been taken, and they don't have a choice, and they're young, they're straight from the heavens, and it's a pretty big problem. I mean, there are no words to describe how heavy and dark that particular subject matter is. But think about every time that you say no, there is a change in the atmosphere. There's a change in the energy stream. Go pushing this wave, the flow, more towards God every time. The more of us that do this, you are going to see a reversal in some of the darkest shit that goes on this planet. And it does feel like as we get closer to the light, there is more darkness, but it's light always wins. And I think the more we believe that there's more dark as we get closer to the light, it's not helping our cause. So it's better that we know unequivocally that we keep doing this work so diligently that of course we will drown out that undercurrent of just stuff that's going on that nobody really wants to look at anyways. Go see that movie. It will rock your world in the most horrific and tender ways in your heart. If that movie doesn't give you some form of heart opening, you have no soul. Just kidding. Okay. Be free today and carry freedom as your gift to those who still believe they are enslaved within a body. Be you free so that the Holy Spirit can make use of your escape from bondage. I'm sorry, I'm repeating this, yes. To set free the many who perceive themselves as bound and helpless and afraid. Let love replace their fears through you. You be the love, no matter whatever the fuck you think you are seeing and experiencing and coming at you. Turn your back on it. Stay strong in the love. Accept salvation now and give your mind to Him who calls to you to make this gift to Him, for He would give you perfect freedom, perfect joy, and hope that finds its full accomplishment in God. I think I may have repeated that whole paragraph. I don't care. It was worth repeating. You are God's son. I repeat, it says right here, you are God's son. In immortality, you live forever. Would you not return your mind to this? Then practice well the thought the Holy Spirit gives you for today. Your brothers stand released with you in it. The world is blessed along with you. God's Son will weep no more, and heaven offers thanks for the increase of joy your practice brings even to it. And God Himself extends His love and happiness each time you say, I am not a body, I am free. I hear the voice that God has given me, and it is only this my mind obeys. I am not a body, I am free. I hear the voice that God has given me, and it is only this my mind obeys. Lesson 199. And this is one of those lessons. The title will stick. There are many times in situations where I'm just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, God, where are you? Where are you? And then I hear, one of them is, I am the peace of God, Peace. I am the peace of God. And I am not a body, I am free. For I am still as God created me. I am not a body, I am free. Lesson 199. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep at it, stay strong, discern between truth and fiction. You will get this, you're getting it. Keep at it. It is worth it. Thank you so much. Take care. I love you. God bless you.